Hello, everybody. Just see what I can do. There we go. That's not too bad. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this live show. Everything looks fine. And everything is okay here. Pretty cool. And hello, everybody. So this is a little setup difference today. So, hey, welcome aboard. Let's just open a beer. I'm going to start with this one. A gift from God. And we will start the live show with beer number one. And explain a little bit of today's show. Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. This is the Saturday edition of the Shortwave radio show. Of course, this one is the Shortwave. In 2 weeks on Saturday, the 23rd, it will be the VHF UHF show. It's going to be a little weird because today we're going to do a little bit of VHF stuff. We'll tune in the International Space Station, and actually I'll bring up something nice that I've decoded just before about an hour ago. So this was an hour ago, a picture from the International Space Station. So welcome aboard. My name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This is a show about having fun with radio and just enjoying radio and just being a great gang and having fun with our radios. That's who we are. We are geeky radio guys, and we are proud and happy, and I'm proud and happy to be one. And cheers to geeky radio guys. So it's nice to have all of you here, as usual. And today we will tune in. There are 2 passes of the International Space Station. So an hour ago we got 1 picture. And we'll decode. More pictures, hopefully. Signal was pretty good. The next pass here, 29 degrees, it's a low pass. But, that one was 31, so it wasn't much better. And so that is in 30 minutes from now. So we'll be keeping an eye on this. Because in 30 minutes from now, we'll be tuning around and trying to decode a slow scan TV picture, just like the one I decoded an hour ago right here. Come on, Mr. Cat. Here we go, Mr. Cat saying hi to everybody. Just put this here. Let's just show Mr. Cat to everybody. Everybody wants to see Mr. Cat. Oh, got it. There we go. Whoa. Just one little thing I will change because Mr. Cat will have my laptop fall down. So, Mr. Cat for you. So welcome aboard. Of course, this is a radio show. It's mostly shortwave, but I've put the Yaesu on the shortwave bands. We'll keep the SDR, the RSP1A on VHF with my mobile vertical outdoors, and we'll have pretty much a lot of fun tuning around and trying to decode pictures from the International Space Station. So I hope everybody's happy and hope everybody's fine from yesterday's show. I am. So there's a nice chat room for those that want to join in, chat with people, ask questions. Great people. Really amazing people, actually. And so I think this is going to be a nice little show here for everybody. Hey, Sean Fay, nice to have you on board. Bobby Burgess, nice to have you here from Morgan City, Louisiana, USA. Mr. Volts from Latvia, nice to have you here. Juan Amigo from Barcelona, Spain. ¿Cómo está, mi amigo? Nice to have you here. Matambale in Colorado, nice to have you on board with Voice of America French 15730. Mark Fisher, nice to have you on board from Southern Illinois. Bullfrog 89 KD2CXU checking in from Albany, New York. Hope you're all well. And we'll try to have Mr. Cat in a that's a kind of a sexy position here. Bullfrog 89 KD2CXU, nice to have you on board. I've been trying to get some kids interested in the College Radio Club W2HVC. Only have a couple. Well, you know, you bring them in one at a time, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be quite happy. You know, you can't have everybody happy with radio. It's unfortunately doesn't work like that. But there are some, you know, and the few ones you've got, you gotta keep them interested and make sure that, you know, they'll stay on the bandwagon of radio listening and amateur radio and everything. Radio comms, nice to have you on board. DE1DJK from Germany, nice to have you here. Voice of Turkey on 6050 on this location. In English, pretty good. Rough Duff McLeod, hello there from Chile, Nova Scotia, Canada. Kind of cold today here, especially with the wind. I have a lot of wind. Mick, nice to have you on board from the East Midlands of England. Just popped open a beer, so cheers, my friend. So, Jerry DX, yes, absolutely, as you see here in the background. I've got a picture. Doug Murray, nice to have you on board from San Pedro Laguna. La Laguna from Guatemala, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. Brett Wayne, nice to have you here from Salamanca, New York, KC2NXP. And lost the show yesterday because of the bad winds. And it was quite windy here too yesterday. Mr. G, nice to have you here from the east coast of the UK. Nick Amendo from Romania. Nice to have you on board. He says he's got the International Space Station signal today and being happy to record it. My USB cable went out, leaving my RTL dongle dead. So, of course, I recorded nothing. Oh. Hopefully, you'll have it today. Brad Wayne got 2 or 3 pictures from the ISS today. So, last night it wasn't there. They turned it on this morning. So, last night, even people saying, hey, there's a weak signal. No, there's no signal at all. Mike Hanna, nice to have you here. Always nice to have you on board. So Texan PL 680, nice to have you here. And yes, hit the. Whoops. Let me just. There we go. What do we have? What do we have? Let me just go down here. So yeah, Texan PL 680 we'll have it today for sure. Mickey Delmange, nice to have you on board. Says Radio New Zealand booming in on 11725. I'll try that. I'm not sure it's gonna make it, but 11725. Nothing to be heard on 11725 here. Neil Toombs, nice to have you on board. M0CJM. Ray Erdink, nice to have you on board from G7POQ, Leeds UK. So, PLF Radio, bonjour, bienvenue. Nice to have you on board, my friend. Toujours un plaisir. Vaults, nope, I don't have, I'm not set up for injecting the video from there to here. I'll have to do something about that at some point. I'm still in the middle of kind of resetting everything right now. John Pinkney, nice to have you on board from Oak Hill, Virginia. And been shortwave listening since 1961. TVD excerpt since 1971. And a ham call is a former broadcast call, W3XWT. Welcome aboard, John. Nice to have you here. Radioactive, nice to have you on board. David Green, nice to have you on board from Lexington, Kentucky. WA4217SWL is a call sign. Cool. cool. So yeah, well, they didn't. I don't think they had a problem. I think it wasn't just switched on. They kind of switched it on late. My guess is only that, honestly. Matambali has Voice of America 15730, extremely strong. Let's check it out here. 15730. Yeah, there's something, but it's not very strong. With some music right now, 15730. Unpopcom, nice to have you on board from South Central Pennsylvania. And McGlone, nice to have you on board. Andrew Ross, nice to have you here, my friend. McGlone is in Florida. Douglas Perry, nice to have you on board from Tweed, Ontario, Canada. Radioactive, hearing a lot of traffic on 11175. EMs on 4724, 6739, 8992. 11175, attention all stations. Let's post our radio here to that 11175. And upper sideband. If something happens, we'll hear it. Mark Smith, nice to have you on board from Maine. Donald Hosmer, nice to have you on board, my friend from Northern Michigan. W8SWL. Sunshine, but only 16 degrees. Yeah, it looks pretty much like that here. It's minus, this one's in the sun at -5, so it's like -8, -9 Celsius, which is roughly what you're having, 16 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that, 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Radioactive has one. Just tell the kids you can text on the radio. Yeah, why not set up, like packet or something, and or just a digital mode, and let them know that they can text each other through radio. No, that image comes from my mobile vertical. It's the mobile vertical VHF wideband antenna that I have for that picture here, and that I have set up right now for the decoding that's coming up in 20 minutes. Hunter Michiche, nice to have you here. If I'm in a house owned by a landlord, I need to see if there's interference coming from the house. What do I do? Well, if you're not alone, that's the problem. You can check out where you are, because you can unplug everything. Unplug the different devices you have in your home one by one. Unfortunately, you can't do much about what is coming in noise from the neighbors. Like I got a neighbor just here, in downstairs. I can't do nothing about them. And if they have something that creates noise, well, I'm kind of stuck. That unfortunately, there's not much you can do. The only thing you can check out is your own home, where you can unplug everything and unplug them one by one. See if it changes anything. The other thing you could do is use a portable radio, AM radio, and walk around the house and see if there are areas where more noise than others. You might, or walk around the yard, you might actually notice from where some of that noise is coming from. Ray Erdink, nice to have you on board from Leeds, UK, very windy. And glad there's no damage with your little problem there with the wind. Mad Radio DXer, nice to have you here. Bobby Burgess, hello. Frédéric, F4 ECA, bonjour et bienvenue. Always nice to have everybody here. Fanic Xenakis, nice to have you on board. D1 DJK says, today morning, in the morning was hard to listen, 16-19 meter band, so noisy, unbelievable. So, nice. D-Raf, nice to have you here from below freezing, Kingston, New York. Pretty cool. It's cold. Radioactive says 11725 S2 in Oregon. KF7ELY is the call sign. Hunter Mijic is KC1IEJ. Pretty cool. James Hauser, nice to have you here. Yes, they are in a little bucket with water and ice to keep them cold. Yes, a nice FT450 gift from a viewer. Really, really nice gift here with Jack and 9IIF. Of course, set up to work. Joe Palu, nice to have you here. KB3LUE. Ethan Best, nice to have you here. Batam Bali is receiving WHRI 17815. Ray Erdink, can anyone help, please? I have a signal on 241, a stuttering sound that lasts for a few seconds, repeating, then stops for a few seconds, then start again cycling. Is it a Morse code ID you're getting? If it's a tone, and then it has what looks like Morse code, and starts over all the time, it could be a non-directional beacon on longwave. That's a big possibility around North America. There's tons of them. Maybe you're hearing that. David Arden, KJ4CMY. Nice to have you on board. And as he's saying, everybody hit the like button. Texton PR680 says he keeps his beer in between multiple shortwave radios, so changes it with HF goodness. No, but I'm getting it in 2019. I got no choice now that I have this radio, so I'm soon to have my license, Joe. Ethan Best says, I wish I could unplug my neighbor's noisemaker. I wish I had a big switch for the neighborhood, and without no one knowing about it, and just boop, no power in the neighborhood for a couple of hours. At least I would be the one happy here. John Pinkney says, pass the word on a clandestine that's been active on 1640 kilohertz. With a loop going, you are listening to a test broadcast operating on 1640 kilohertz AM. It's then it tests 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, and A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, there are these 1640 is a frequency that could be used for some very local transmitters, broadcasting little road information in specific area. It's not meant to cover a large area on the medium wave band, but they often are doing tests like these. Sheldon, I think it's last year, had asked me if I would hear anything here, because he was hearing on a SDR. I think it was in Virginia. He was hearing on one of the online SDRs a test like that was going on all the time. Muglone, 22 Celsius here in Northport, Florida. I'm going over there. I'm going to do some outdoor live show. Yeah, usually they don't give any call signs. It's just like a test run all the time, like 24 hours a day. I've heard that in the past. Luis Arevalo, nice to have you on board. What kind of cat food do you feed your cat, the big cat? It's mostly because he's eating all the time. I would have to take away the food, actually, because he's always eating. SWL60N, nice to have you on board from Stockholm, Sweden. Cloudy, 2 Celsius. Listening to my Sanjian WR1, a nice table radio with FM and medium wave. Cool. Cool. What else do we have? What else do we have? Let's go down. I was going to put the keyboard back here. Okay. Dave Top from Niagara, Ontario. Nice to have you here. Chris Alpha Tango. Nice to have you on board. Yes, we got some slow scan. F. Blassie, nice to have you on board from Oakland, California. Sheldon Harvey, bonjour, hi, nice to have you on board. And we're having a pass of the International Space Station in 10 minutes. It's going to be interesting to see what we decode here. What else do we have? Gary Horobin, nice to have you on board from Japan. from Tokyo, Japan, KE0UAW. Nice to have you on board, Gary. Larry Fanboy 25, nice to have you here. Jeffrey Kropp, nice to have you on board from Chile, New Hampshire. Donald Hosmer reloaded the screen. Here everything's green, so it should be okay. So PLF radio is China radio very strong on 7285. 85. Let's check that out. Let's actually go down. 7285. Yep, pretty good signal here. Just go to AM mode. Really good signal. 7285. I believe they're on 5960. Let me just check 5960. In English, is 5960 coming in? So 5960 also is China Radio International coming in. So both frequencies are pretty strong. What beer goes best with delivery from Rôtisserie Saint-Hubert? I'm not sure of that, actually. Brian Penny, nice to have you here. Successful capture of the International Space Station slow scan today. Cool. Ray Erdink has 7285, really good. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Ryan Bennett, do you carry police scanners? Well, I do have some scanners around, like this one, for example, the Pro 92 trunk scanner. I don't use them a lot lately, but I do keep them running, so when bad weather arrives or when something unusual arrives, I can actually at least do something and listen in to what's happening around me. Vancouver Island DXer, nice to have you on board. Brian, the electricity just came back after an 11-hour power outage. 10 degrees in the house. That is cold. Did you have battery power for your radios so that you can actually listen in to all that you can because of the noise? That's the question when there's a power outage. Marietta DXer says, first time I've seen the Yaesu FT450 in action on a live stream. Nice. Yeah, we're going to use it more today because I'll keep the, because of the International Space Station, I'll keep the SDR on the VHF wideband so that we can decode some of the pictures. Hey, Sheldon, he's located in Oak Hill, Virginia. And isn't that where you are tuning in one of the SDRs online last year and you were actually receiving that test broadcast? I think it was one in one of the Virginia receivers that you were getting that, if I'm not mistaken, about a year ago, around a year ago. I remember because we had talked about it. David Green, nice to have you here. Do you broadcast band or medium wave DXing when the shortwave bands are slow? I don't DX much on the medium wave band, but I tend, when the shortwave bands are great, I tend to go and tune around the medium wave band quite regularly. I'd say I probably tune around the medium wave band maybe once a week. I don't necessarily DX, although one evening about a month ago, when the shortwave bands were really, really, really dead, I parked myself on a frequency. I think it was 630 kilohertz. And I could hear that there was at least 2 or 3 stations there. And I stayed there for a couple of hours trying to figure out and get an idea of each of the stations that I was listening to. And I heard, I think, 3 different IDs that I was able to check out, which was fun because it was like, oh, this is kind of fun. Parking on a frequency and that has multiple signals and trying to make out whatever. I was using a GP5, actually, the GP5 SSB, with that little ferret rod antenna that you plug in on the top. That works amazingly well, actually, for medium wave. So I had a lot of fun, actually, and I need to do it again. I had a fun evening doing that. Really need to do it again, honestly. Chris Alpha Tango says M-Radio Deluxe works well with the 450D. Yeah, I need to plug it in to have it working on computer controlled, like the ICOM. PLF Radio says I hear 60102, quite good signal. John Pinky says unlike the IED TIS station, this one is loud in most of the area. Huh. So Sheldon says yes, it was from the community college in Virginia. Huh. Andy Tobin, nice to have you on board. The E1 DJK says 41 and 75 meters band rock tonight. Lower band's totally crap. PLF Radio as Radio Romania 7235. So it's pretty good. Pretty good. So pretty nice. Do I hear anything else here? I believe what is the Voice of Turkey on 5980. Interesting. We'll check that out. So we'll start setting up a little bit because only a few minutes away from the first of two passes of the International Space Station. So we'll be checking that out. John Pinney says there's a pirate on 87.9 in Herndon several years ago. Bizarre format though, evangelical Christian. You know, me and on the International Radio Report, me and Sheldon talks often about pirate stations that get caught by the FCC in the U.S. They're mentioning how most of them, or a lot of them, are actually Christian stations. It's kind of interesting. Okay, let's set up here and be ready for what will be a pass of the International Space Station. So we're all set up. The frequency is 145.800, 145.800, and we'll try to take out some pictures here. Hopefully it's going to work. The space station is going to rise up in exactly 2 minutes from now. It's going to start rising in the west-northwest. It's a very low pass for me, a 29-degree pass. I'm using, once again, for those that are asking the question, I'm using Evans Above app on Android with this 10-inch tablet. There's a free version, and there's a pro version. The pro version, the only difference is that it removes the ads at the bottom. It doesn't add any functionalities per se. This is the pro version because I wanted to remove the ads, and because I use it all the time inside the AM, why not pay for the app? So we'll have a live decode of the International Space Station here. So this is, I think, let me a lot of fun. Hey Matt, nice to have you on board. It's getting another Slow Scan TV now. Cool. And we'll be checking that out. John says, last time I was seriously active as a shortwave listener, there were several clandestines on HF, Radio Cayman and Radio Thrun, among others. Are there still any floating around these days? There's kind of some clandestines in some areas, but what probably is the most interesting these days is there's quite a lot of pirate radio activity, actually. So pretty interesting. So Radioactive is nearing the International Space Station a week, probably the end of a pass. So we'll be checking that out, and we're gonna start. The ISS is just at the horizon right now here in the west northwest. So we'll be checking out. It's very low pass at 29 degrees, but the one before where I got that picture was a 31 degree pass. So 29, 31, I should actually decode something. It's passing to the north. So technically from where I'm in here, the International Space Station is rising there. Gonna rise to about 29 degrees, gonna pass north. North is over there for me. And will be setting in the northeast there for me. So it's just going to pass like in that direction for me. So I'm using a wideband mobile vertical antenna to do the job, and it's surprising job that it does. So let's hope that we can do a live decode. Matt had just a 16 degree pass. D1 DJK, Radio Vatican on 5105. Really? 5105. Are you sure, D1 DJK? Never heard Vatican radio on that frequency. So let's put on some volume here. We're gonna start. Check that out. So with the Doppler shift, the International Space Station is, from like about 3 or 4 kilohertz higher and lower the main frequency of 145.800. So nice to have everybody here. I'm just going to pause the chat room now. It's now at 8 degrees elevation. The suspense is here now. Here we go. Darn fades. Oops. few fades, but we got one picture here. And we still have 4 minutes. So this is one of the pictures that I just decoded. So let's, so that's one. There's some fading, but it's there. It's a low pass, so there could be some buildings creating something, but I suspect also that even in the International Space Station, their antenna is directional. So as it's moving, the pattern probably changes also. That's why to get really clear signals, I need to have a directional antenna pointed towards it rather than a vertical. Would be better. So you know, it goes on. It depends on the pass. I remember I noticed that, for example, when the pass is south of me, I get super clear decodes all the time. When the pass is north, like this one, I often have deep fades, and so it could be something that happens with the antenna pattern. But I suspect that the fact that even the International Space Station's antenna, because it's directional, probably has a better radiation when it's at a certain angle compared to where I live. But you know, it's there. Donald Hosmer, so what do we have? It's an alien. You got to try it, Ray. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mandrill DXer says very clear, strong signal from ISS. So there were some fades here, but you know, it's there. We're going to put the volume back up and try to decode the next picture and see how it goes. So so sorry I missed the beginning. So right now it's only 16 degrees and it's east-northeast. 15 degrees east-northeast is very low here right now. To give you an idea of the range, the signal is 1,260 kilometers away from me. So here I got another deep fade. And I've got a building right there, so it's maybe passing it and on the other side of a building because it's so low. Hey, good news, William. Nice to have you back at home. Hope you're okay and well. Yeah, Bad Radio DXer, absolutely. But like I said, when I have a pass that it's south, usually it's better. The next pass is really big. The next one is going to be, I think it's 60 degrees. It's 82 degrees. The next one is almost overhead. And that's at in an hour and 20 minutes. It's very, very, very weak now. It's getting weak because it's really low. It's pretty much set now. So that was try number 2. You know, like earlier, the one that I had earlier was better because it was at 30-some degrees. It was a little higher. So it's kind of nice. So there's another one here. We had, to give you an idea, to give you an idea, guys, is today I had 1, 2, 3. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 passes today. 5 passes, and the best one is coming up in an hour and 20 minutes. It's going to be 82 degrees. It's going to be almost overhead. So, yeah, well, you know, Donald Hosmer, I have a vertical antenna, so a direct overhead pass is not the best for me. You know, the best would be about a 50 or 60 degrees. It stays within the range of my vertical, and it actually will give me probably some of the strongest signals of all when I do that, at around 50, 60 degrees. Mike Anna says, this is awesome. Kevin Wood, nice to have you here. So it's going to be nice to have the next pass. Max Estrong, nice to have you here. What do we have? Nick Amendo says, how are you getting so many passes? There was only a decent one for Romania today. It depends what you mean by decent, and be careful about another thing. What are you using to track it? Because here's one thing that's very important. If you use Evans Above, one of the things you got to remove in the settings, there's a check mark in the settings. That's not what I want to do. There's a check mark in the settings that says show visible ISS passes only. You got to remove that check mark. You got to remove the show visible passes only, because that's for the visual. If you want to see it with your eyes when it passes overhead. For radio, that doesn't count. It doesn't matter if it's in darkness. So you got to remove that check mark. It's very important. If I leave that check mark, I had only 1 pass today. If I remove the check mark, now it shows me all the passes I've got throughout the day. And also, it depends what you mean by decent. I have a threshold that I set in Heavens Above. And my threshold that I set is 20 degrees. Give me everything that goes above 20. Ignore anything that is below 20, because I know below 20, it's a hit or miss situation. More of a miss than a hit most of the time. And there will be a certain number of passes during a day. And then you will be several hours where it doesn't pass overhead where you live. So for example, the next one is, I've got a great one in an hour, 20 minutes. I'll have another one tonight here at almost 7 o'clock here in Montreal. Then it goes to tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. Tonight there won't be any passes for me, because it will be, due to the orientation of the Earth, it's not going to be passing overhead across probably most of North America for the rest of the night. Then there's how many degrees you are is acceptable for you. So is 20 degrees enough for a good signal? If you have a handheld scanner, you might be stuck with passes that are always above 60 degrees to get a really nice signal. So Bobby Burgess says, what kind of modern technologies can interfere with signals from space or low Earth orbit objects? Typically the same types of objects are things that actually annoy our shortwave reception. First of all, down here, the noise created by our devices show up on our devices. I mean, look at that. I'm on 145-800. I've got S4 noise. S4 noise on 145-800. It's not quiet. So that is something that can play also in the deep fades. If the signal goes below my noise floor, if I didn't have any noise, maybe that signal would actually be better. So that's something that you need to check out. I'm going to actually do a little something here. I'm going to throttle back the RF gain a little bit, so that the next time it passes by, I might be a little better. One thing also, as Waltz was asking what the deep fades could be. The RSP1A I noticed is sensitive to. I've got some antennas on a building just almost across the street from here. They are Paget and some kind of other communications in the VHF UHF range. I suspect that when they turn on with something, it desensitizes my receiver because the signal's too strong. So that could be another problem here. Hey, Mark Tuyet, nice to have you on board. Yes, Sputnik, it's the International Space Station Decode. Nice to have you on board from Florida. The SSTV mode that they use is PD120, Papa Delta 120. The Commandant's using N2YO. Okay. Well, you should have some interesting passes show up. I haven't used N2YO in a while. I know there are some criteria to also use when you are on N2YO that you can actually enter. But you should have more than one pass every day, that's for sure. The International Space Station will pass overhead at plus or minus good elevation, maybe 5 or 6 times every day on any location around Earth, pretty much. What else do we have? So nice to have David Arden. Tim Young, nice to have you here. Says like your show picked up a Kenwood TS670. Cool. The SSTV, it will be active until Monday 1830 TC. So February 10th. Monday. No, tomorrow, Sunday. I'm all messed up here. Tomorrow, Sunday, February 10th, 1830 UTC. It's gonna stop. Now they switched it on late, so maybe they'll switch it off late. I know that even when they say they switch it off at a certain time, I often listen after. It did happen a couple of times where people said, you know what, they were supposed to switch off yesterday, and it's still on today. So technically, it's going on till tomorrow, 1830 UTC. But you might hear it later than that, and it would still be. There wasn't supposed to be any, and I don't remember who. Somebody told me early this week they were getting some slow scan TV from the International Space Station, and I mean it wasn't supposed to be on. So sometimes I almost always, if I know that there's a pass coming up and I'm set up for it, I will often check just to see if by chance something unusual or something that I don't know of is happening. And you can, one of the great ways that you can check out to see if you hear the International Space Station when there's no slow scan TV, they run a packet bulletin board on 145825. So you'll hear bursts of data every, 30 seconds, every minute. You'll hear some bursts of data. If you hear that, you're hearing the International Space Station. So it's like, kind of interesting. Okay. John Pingy, something I used to chase back in the days were number stations and such. Any of those still around? Tons of them. Actually, there's a website called Priom, Priym, that has a schedule of all the number stations. There's quite a few from Poland, Russia, Cuba, and there's a few Asian countries that have some also. Still a lot of number stations around. Absolutely. Hello, my friend from Russia. Nice to have you on board R1BEN 73. No, I'm not even drunk. I just started the strong beer, but I'm not yet drunk enough to fumble my words. I'm more in the trying to talk too fast, I think. It's more like that. What else do we have? Kevin Wood has a question that some of you might answer. What are some of the other interfaces I can use with my SDR IQ? Not happy with SpectraView. Anybody have an answer there? Randy in Riverside, California. Nice to have you on board. Yes, it's the Saturday show. Radioactive is using its FT2900 2-meter radio to catch the International Space Station. Locked to 5 kilohertz steps. Oh, that's sad. At least it's cool here because I can actually put the steps to 100 hertz. That's the fun part of this. But when you're stuck with steps that you can't change, that's annoying for the International Space Station. Because you sometimes are just kind of in between a little bit and gives a little bit of noise on the pictures. Matambali says, plus picture the antenna sensitivity as having lobes like a peacock tail. Regular fade in, fade outs patterns and receive images. Kind of unroll a pattern of peaks and valleys. Yeah, all sorts of things. All sorts of things happening. And even the antenna aboard the International Space Station, the radiation pattern, as it's moving at the same time, everything changes. So it's not always easy. That's why a directional antenna is great, because the directional antenna gives you so much more signal that even if it fades, it doesn't usually fade enough for you to lose it. John says, best numbers catch I had was the time audio from the 10 top 40 FM on the frequency used by Warren Training Center. One of the best number stations I've received, one of the most amazing, and there's a video on the Shortwave channel about it. When solar activity was higher a few years ago, I was listening in to Radio New Zealand on 15720 at 0500 UT. I think it was 0400 UT at in the summertime. It's usually a good listen. It's my summertime go to bed radio station. And so I was tuning in to Radio New Zealand, started tuning in around 0300. And at 04, about 10 minutes, 5 minutes before 0400, I hear this tone. There's something that's really close in frequency that turns on maybe 5 or 6 minutes before the top of the hour, before 0400. So I'm curious. I'm saying, what's that tone? And I put my radio, my icon, in upper sideband, and I distinctly see that, okay, it's on 15721. It's exactly 1 kilohertz. And it seems to fade in and out like a shortwave signal. So I'm like, there's something there. The first night, I don't do anything. The first night, I just like, well, that's weird, Next day, turn the radio on, listen to Radio New Zealand. It's coming in really great. The tone is there again, 4 or 5 minutes before the top of the hour. It's a little stronger than the day before. So at the top of the hour, I distinctly noticed that there seems to be some voice. So I put my radio in upper sideband so I can actually remove Radio New Zealand as much as I can. And I go to 15721, and I actually hear Russian numbers. Numbers are in Russian being sent out. And I'm like, man, this is a number station. And that's where I noticed, I actually found out that 15721 0400 UT is Russian number station, but it broadcasts from Asiatic Russia. So it's broadcasting like from somewhere above China in the Russian territory. And that's why I'm hearing it at that time. And I heard it probably a dozen times over the next days and weeks. But unfortunately, because the solar activity is very low now, last summer I didn't hear it at all. Last summer I had absolutely no signal at all on 15721, unfortunately. And another thing that I was thinking, my noise level is maybe higher than it was before on that frequency range. But that's probably my best ever catch of a number station. I mean, that was crossing the Pacific Ocean, coming up to here. And I would never have noticed it if it wasn't for the tone, because it was only 1 kilohertz off Radio New Zealand. Tim Young says, I just got into this and I have always loved shortwave radio and always wanted a ham. I still got to get an antenna or make one. Cool. Why not make one? It's one of the fun things. You can make one. And, check out. There's some designs that don't cost a lot of money, that cost almost nothing, that you could try and build yourself. There's something cool about building your own stuff, your own antennas and whatever, and listening in, So, what else do we have? I was listening LSB mode when hearing it today on SDR Sharp. No, it's an FM. The slow scan TV on the International Space Station, Nick, is FM, narrow FM. You have to be in FM mode, not in single sideband. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So it's really the International Space Station is sending it in FM mode. It's something that a lot of people actually do by mistake, because when you go to the ham bands, like a 20 meters, and you listen to the slow scan TV, you're in upper sideband. But the International Space Station is sending in FM. You got to be in FM mode. John says, second best was a radio event ID mixing with 5-figure up. I think it was a year and a half ago. I was listening into 10715, which is one of the Cuban number station frequencies. And instead of the Cuban numbers, I was hearing Radio Havana Cuba. And I remember I reported it in the DX Listening Digest web Yahoo group, where Glenn Hauser had fun with that, saying, well, Cuba messed up again and has its Radio Havana Cuba on its number station frequency. So I guess, things are pretty much coming in from a lot of the same places, I guess. Kimberly, K6YYL, nice to have you here from California. Hope you are well, my friend. What else do we have? Mark 2, yet tried Canadian weed yet? No, the last time I touched the stuff, I was in college, and I've never really touched that again. I ain't really interested in that. I got a few friends of mine, and it's so funny because they always talk about that, and they say, well, I ain't gonna buy it from that store. I'm gonna continue buying it from my, from the guy that I get it from. Kevin Wood says, using SDR Sharp, but it seems buggy. You know what? Talking about SDR Sharp, depending on the computer I use, I noticed one thing about SDR Sharp is that it's not always great. It seems to crash on some setups sometimes. A lot of the software, like SDR Uno doesn't crash. HD SDR never crashed. But SDR Sharp often crashed in different setups sometimes, I've noticed. Dana F, nice to have you on board from Providence, Rhode Island. I just got an antenna. It only says Dilly Electronics, Australia. I think it's some kind of wildlife Yagi antenna. Anybody can help? Page Master, nice to have you on board from Moore, Oklahoma. KI5CWF. Pretty cool. Yes, SDR actually isn't HD. Yeah, HD SDR can do IQ, if I'm not mistaken. You can try HD SDR. I do believe HD SDR does IQ. Jaro Ferraz. What else do we have? Keegan, nice to have you here from Northwest Arkansas. Pretty cool. What else do we have? Hey, good night from Canada, Mr. Russia. Yes, in Orbitron, the International Space Station is in the list. You gotta load. If you load, okay, let me just check it out here. I got it here. Orbitron. So if I load Orbitron here, yes, I want to update the TLE, please. And I check out, I believe, and we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna check it out here. I believe, so I'm gonna load only amateur. Yeah, if you load the amateur list, so if you go to load TLE and you choose amateur, you do have the ISS. I got it in my list in alphabetical order. It's right there. So you guys could see that how he's going to pass the next pass. So it's right there. It should be in your amateur list for sure. Bullfrog. Take care, the E1 DJK. It was nice to have you on board. Next show is next Friday, February the 15th at 2000 UTC. David Arden, no, I'm not allergic to radios, but I'm allergic to cats, so I got to take some Benadryl from time to time. Not every day, but once a week. Sometimes I'll have a little more, and I take a Benadryl for like a day, and then I'm okay. So I get all like woozy for a full day because that thing just is crazy. So the ISS should be Bullfrog in the amateur list. Free Saxon, nice to have you here, and nice to see a bit of sunlight over here. It's been horrible over in Britain. Cool. It is. Always feels good. Always feels good. Yeah, exactly, Chris Alpha Tango. It's cat hair sneeze. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ray Lyle, nice to have you here. WA9211SWL from Southern Illinois. Pretty cool to have everybody here. What is the best, vertical or horizontal? I mean, just try different things. By vertical, I got a 99-cent antenna bringing the International Space Station in. So you know what? There's so many things you can try. Okay, it's time for the end of the world. Fin du monde. How about that, guys? Beer number 2. And we're waiting for, in an hour's time, we'll have a pass of the International Space Station. We're going to tune the shortwave bands on the Yesu here a little bit. I think you guys are going to have a little bit of fun with that. So we'll be checking that out for sure. As I said, nice to have you here. Yes, International Space Station. Mike Hanna, so something I have noticed when listening to my Birdcat scanner is the transmissions come in with static unless I walk up near it and then it comes in clear. Should I ground it to my grounding rod? That's interesting. What kind of transmission exactly do you listen to that comes in with static all the time? Maybe it's overloading. One of the things you got to be careful, and for example, when I use my my ICR20, one of the things, which is over there, one of the things that you got to be careful is not, the major error, and the major error of anybody using an SDR, or a lot of people using SDR, by the way, they see that RF gain, and they decide that let's pump that to the max, which is the biggest mistake you can do on a radio. Pumping up the RF gain to the maximum level is opening up your radio to overloading, intermod, all sorts of things. The electronics especially if you live in an area with tons of signals, will not cope well with all the signals around it. So you got to find that setting. For example, on my ICR20 portable, I set the RF level to a 7 out of 10. At 7, it's just perfect. It doesn't overload, gives me great signals of almost anything I want to hear. Only time I pump it up is in some specific situations where I know I can put it to the maximum setting to hear something weak. But most of the time, I just throttle it back a little bit. So if you have a setting like that on your Bearcat scanner of RF gain, make sure that it's not too high, because it might be too sensitive. If you don't, and you have an outdoor antenna, a lot of scanners have a lot of difficulty working well with outdoor antennas. For example, if the Pro 2006 that's here, I don't know if you guys can see it. The Pro 2006 that's here, you guys don't see it really, right here, you just see the keyboard. That is one of the great Radio Shack scanners. If I put that on my mobile vertical, I get intermod everywhere. It doesn't cope well with an outdoor antenna. And it is one of the best models that they had. So I suggest you be careful with what type of antenna you're using also on it. And if you can lower the gain, if you guys use an SDR, I saw a post in one of the Facebook group of Shortwave listener. He was saying that he couldn't receive a lot. And he then started playing around with the RF gain, lowered the RF gain. And suddenly his radio came alive, his SDR came alive. Yeah, because if you push it too hard, you're getting overload of everything everywhere. It's not a good idea. Cyberflyer1, nice to have you on board. Dirty Diaper 21, nice to have you on board. Pretty cool. As we have Richard Tribble, nice to have you on board. Richard, the number station for Russian was 15721, and it's at 0400 UTC. So this time of year it doesn't come in. But in the summertime, June, July, that's pretty much when I hear it. John says, as my grandfather used to say, with the right beverage, you could probably hear anything. And an ultra long wire is what kind of an antenna. Oh, man. Matambali has NMC fax from Point Reyes, California, 17121. Let's try that one out here. 17 151. Let's put it at mode upper sideband. I hear it. But it's very weak. I hear the Point Reyes fax, the weather fax being sent on 17151. But it's very weak. That would not give me a very nice decode, unfortunately. But I hear it. 17151. KC Red Dragon, nice to have you on board. Wolfrog says, okay, thanks, Joe. I haven't used the program for a long time. Forgot to hit the load TLE button on the right. Yeah, when we use software only from time to time, it's easy to kind of forget. And remember, when you load TLEs, a little trick, by the way, for Arbitron, when you load TLEs, hold down on a Windows PC, hold down the control key so that you can actually choose multiple lists. So I choose amateur, I choose the Mousson, MUSSON, because there's some Russian lowered navigation satellites in there. I load NOAA, Orbcom. That's pretty much it, I believe. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Which gives me on the right not only amateur stuff, but the weather stuff, the Orbcom satellites. So you just hold the control key while you click on the ones you want. And once you click open, they're all going to open on the right side. So you'll have a mix of the amateur stuff, the weather satellites, and so on. That's a little tip here. And anyone that has this on Windows 7 and up, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, remember to right click on the executable and the executable. You will go to compatibility mode and make it run in compatibility mode. You can run it in Windows 7, but make sure you put the check mark in admin rights to have administrative rights. So that they actually update the TLEs. Because in Windows 10, for example, if you don't do that, the TLEs never update because they can't write into the folder it needs to write to. Vaults, yes, I know that, but the problem is the newer ones do nothing for me. And I'm not joking. I actually had a big allergy many years ago. And doctors kind of gave me all the new stuff. And I said, there's nothing happening. And one of the doctors that I saw said, you know what? Do you do anything, that if you get sleepy, it's a problem? I said, well, no, not right now. He said, why don't you try Benadryl? I'm just curious. And I took 2 Benadryls, and it worked. And you know what? I tried the new stuff that doesn't, buzz you really or make you sleepy. And I can tell you it doesn't do anything. I am one of those people that those new ones do nothing. It's very weird. And there's a few things like that I am very, very peculiar. They can't prescribe certain things because I remember I had an accident at one point and I had a lot of pain, and they gave me 2 types of painkillers. And I went back to the doctor and said, I don't know what you gave me, but I am in pain, and when I take one, it doesn't do anything. And I took 2, and it doesn't do anything. And he said, it's impossible. Well, I said, it is possible, because it doesn't do anything. And he gave me another one that he doesn't prescribe usually, and that one killed the pain like in 10 minutes. There are things that, for some reason, my body, I don't know, I'm an extraterrestrial or something. But it's funny because Benadryl works, but the newer ones don't do anything. It's very, very weird. OSM 2510, nice to have you here. Texan PL 680, end of the world beer. Now we just need a War of the Worlds rebroadcast on Shortwave. Yeah, well, we thought yesterday that with all the EAM from the Air Force, we might be at the end of the world. Tony Perron, nice to have you here. Mike Anna says it's set to hear police and emergency services by their frequency range of 25 to 800 megahertz, if I remember right. I'm not sure noise is always vertically polarized. I think, you got to be careful because polarization depends on how the positioning of the source and how it works. So I think it can be polarized in pretty much any orientation. Since RF is polarized depending on how it's radiated by an antenna. Yeah, PageMaster, exactly. You will often overload the front-end circuitry of the radio if you set RF gain very high. But keep in mind, it depends on the quality of the receiver we're talking about. $3,000, $4,000 receiver, will possibly let you put that RF gain to the maximum level and still not overload. It really depends on, especially on SDR, software-defined receivers. Often putting the SDR, the RF gain to the max is a big mistake. Gordon Threadwell, nice to have you here. VE6 GPT from Alberta, Canada. So, what else do we have? The impression of listening to an SSTV broadcast here. It sounds like SSTV like that. What else do we have? So Matambale, horizontally polarized noise has strong tendency to be absorbed by the earth. Hi Red61, nice to have you on board. Cool to see that you are here. What does vertically polarized mean? When you send out a signal from an antenna that has different positioning, so for example on the VHF UHF range, a lot of signals are horizontally polarized. So if you look at the elements, there's a reason why the elements are not standing up vertically, but are on each side of the antenna or horizontally. So sending out a signal from there and sending out a signal from and receiving a signal from that is horizontally polarized because the signal is sent in such a way. If you have a vertical antenna, you'll still hear it, but you are not you're not matching the pattern of the signal itself. So you're losing some of that power. Radioactive says, especially with less expensive SDRs, finding the correct gain level can be hard to obtain if one is in a high RF noise environment. Absolutely. I had a great example with the Soft 66. The Soft 66 is a $40 SDR. Before I had before I had a really good shortwave signal on it, I had to tweak the RF gain a lot, and find what is that setting, that perfect setting. PLF radio is Vatican Radio on 7365. What else do we have? Ice House Beer, favorite Illinois I'll have for you. Oh. So it's like Matambali says, refers to the angle of the electric field portion of the electromagnetic wave, and it's often done depending on the way that the signal is sent from an antenna, the refraction of the antenna itself. John says, surprised to hear HFX for weather still exists. Used to copy CFH Halifax regularly. CFH Halifax is off the air, but there's still quite a lot of weather facts on the bands. Boston sends a lot of them. There's Louisiana, you can get a few. There's a couple here from Canada in Sydney, Nova Scotia. There's another one from Nunavut, Canada, in the northern territories up there. There's a few other countries around the world that still send. I received one from the UK last week or the week before. There's still a lot of weather facts signals on there, John, actually. Casey Red Dragon, interesting radar on 6380. What's on 6380? Oops, on this one. 6380. Anybody receiving that? I'm in at 63.79 upper sideband. 6379 upper sideband. Anybody else receiving this? It's like a time signal station. 6379 upper sideband, and it has feed, so it's not local. That's an interesting one. I never heard that. Kevin Wood used to get images off of Noah sets. I tried. I haven't been able. Chris Freitas, nice to have you here from Sarasota, Florida. I see all of those pictures, Chris, that you're sending, and now I'm kind of jealous. I want to move to Florida. You seem to be really, really happy to be there, and I'm so happy for you. You seem so happy since you moved there. I find it really cool. Nice to have you on board, my friend. It's not there anymore. It's gone. It just stopped. Are you 10 foot tall and 6 fingers on each hand? Something like that. Hey, RadioNet R, nice to have you on board. Men in black show up at the door all the time, RadioNet. What else do we have? What else do we have? So going down here. Yes, it will get hot real soon, absolutely. But you got the beaches. But it will get very hot, absolutely. Keegan has 5085 WTW. Let's go down. Let's check that out. Yep. It's not very strong here, though. It's not very strong, but it's there with some music. 5085 WTWW. On is Eaton Grundig Edition Field BT Radio. Seem to love your radio. Amy Kenelmage, happy Hockey Day in Canada. For those that, I'm one of those weird Canadians that doesn't watch hockey and doesn't really care about hockey. So I'm kind of an extraterrestrial Canadian here, but it's okay. I do respect everybody that likes hockey. Actually, every time I went to a hockey game is because I had somebody give me tickets. So I would go for free because I would never pay for a hockey game ever. Actually, I find going to the hockey game so boring compared to watching it on TV. Because it's like you're there and they're just like going around and you're like, yeah, I missed that guy saying, hey, this is whatever, taking that. And, you know, the description of the game adds some dimension to it. When you're there, it's like, okay. Oh, almost. Oh, almost. Oh, didn't do it. So anyways, I'm one of those weird Canadians that doesn't like hockey. No, it's not that I don't like hockey. You know, I played hockey when I was young. I played hockey when I was young. It was like, I mean, Canadians do that when they're young guys usually. I played hockey so many times when I was young, and it's just I'm no interest. That's all. I got something else to do than watch hockey. Let's just say that. What else do we have? Marcio Fialo, I would like you to help me with a shortwave antenna with a good cost benefit. It depends where and how you live, Marcio. If it depends if you have space outside, because the first thing I will always say is put that a wire outside and start with that and see what happens. Kevin one has the SDR radio installed and running. Cool. What's that scanner sitting over your left shoulder and the shelf? Is that the old Burkett? Yeah, this one, yeah. If you're talking about this is an old 30 channel Burkett that I got for like 20 bucks shipping including on eBay. So when I saw the price, I thought, yeah, I want to have it. And I have this one here, which is the Radio Shack Pro 92 with trunk scanner. Also here. I got the Icon SCR20 over there. So, Max Strong. Yeah, that was about saying pretty much the same thing. Absolutely. Yes, VCS from out of Nova Scotia, Canada, right? Is transmitting weather facts. I have a few. I look at my World of Utility column in the Canadian International Broadcast, Canadian International DX Club Messenger. I actually talk about all the weather broadcasts out of Canada, including some weather facts transmissions that have been posted there. It's a fantastic thing to look at. And while you're at it, if you watch the World of Utility columns, why not go and check out Mickey Dalmage very interesting QSL column at the same time. And that means you need to check out the Canadian International DX Club Messenger. It's a great little publication, electronic publication. It's very inexpensive. You can ask for a sample copy at cidxclub@yahoo.com, cidxclub@yahoo.com, if you haven't asked for one already. And you can subscribe for $10 a year, $25 for 3 years. So cheap. And you'll have a fantastic little publication. Has news about broadcasting, amateur radio stuff, electronic stuff, anything about utilities, broadcast band, medium wave, long wave, and QSLs and utilities, and it's a really nice little publication. So check that out. Also, me, Sheldon, and David, that you guys don't know, is we're on the International Radio Report on Sunday mornings, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. This is like a publicity stunt. International Radio Report is a nice little show here on the local FM station in Montreal on CKUT 90.3 FM, and it is 15:30 UTC. You can stream on ckut.ca or listen to the archive. It's a great show about radio, 30-minute little show about radio. I'm part of it. And why not join the Facebook page? If you want to learn more, there's a International Radio Report Facebook page that you can join and post articles, read articles that others have posted about what's happening in the world of broadcasts, and just know when the show is going to happen and what we're talking about. And when we talk on the show about different subjects, we often post links into the International Radio Report Facebook page to give you guys an idea of where to look at when we talk about something. So why not check all of that? I mean, it's fantastic, great, not just the publication, but all the information you get about radio is just amazing. Carl Volstad. Nice to have you here from Norway. And listening to your interesting show. Thank you very much. It's fun to have people from around the world, from Nordic countries, Norway. We got Norway, Sweden. We need somebody from Finland tonight. We need somebody from Finland, and we'll be happy. And from Iceland. Greenland, but I'm not sure. Greenland must be a difficult one. To get somebody from Greenland actually watching, I'm not sure. It's not impossible. There must be somebody in Greenland that is interested in radio, but Oh man. Okay, what else do we have? Matambali 6379. Sounds like a slow game of video pong. Absolutely. Chris Alpha Tango, strong 6379. That was weird. That was weird. Casey Red Dragon is seeing a lot of weird stuff on the radio today. Well, that's cool. Thanks, and continue reporting the stuff you're listening in. The problem with the GOES satellite, GOES satellite 13, you need a really amazing antenna setup and low noise amplifier. So Keegan Hurd 6379 Garbled as listening on AM. So it's kind of weird. Max S. Strong 6379 in Michigan says, what was that? What was that? That was weird. That was really weird. Okay, going down as fast as I can. So Mickey Lamage heard 6379 until 21:21:30. It's kind of interesting. PLF Radio says we should see on an SDR what 6371.9 kilohertz. Yeah, it's gone now. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it was like it sounded like the same pips as WWV or CHU. That's true. It's weird. I had never heard that before. Radioactive has acquisition of signal in 36 minutes for the International Space Station. Here, you can see it. It's over Australia right now. So anybody in Australia, in the east part of Australia, you can get the International Space Station right now. And John's got 100 feet end-fed wire from the apartment balcony to a tree in the by the swimming pool. That's cool. That's cool. So nice to have you. Yes. Yeah, Chris, I see it. It's visible on your Facebook posts how you look so happy to be there. So it was a good move. In reality, it was a really good move. Ray Erning says, "Craig me, I'm so funny. I am the same with football." David Arnott says, "An American, and I do not like football. I don't even watch the Super Bowl." You know, I watch the Super Bowl for one thing, because I'll be with my friends, we'll be drinking, and we'll be eating food. And I want to see the halftime show, and I want to see the cool ads. For the rest, I'm not that big of a fan either, you know. Dartsman 501 says, "Don't feel bad. I live in the U.S. and don't give a whatever about football, baseball, and where's basketball." I did like baseball, though, when the Expos were in town. But I've lost interest in baseball after you know. I don't think you can explain it, Matambali. I think it's something that you're born with and you start doing it and you just, you know, do it. But of course I watch the Super Bowl because you're with friends and it's a party. And in reality, for me, watching the Super Bowl is a big party. We're having beer, we're having food, tons of chicken wings, and, you know, just have fun watching the game. Cool, Chris. It was nice to have you here, and always nice to have you on board, my friend. The ICOM ICRX7. Nope. I don't even know what that is. The RX7, Mick, honestly. Mark Brando, nice to have you here. 6379 was back on for 10 seconds. Now I hear a thumping. I googled the frequency and it comes back as 6379 CW IFA Israel 4XZ Israeli. Yeah, 6379. Let's just go back just for the sake of it. 6379. And because in reality the frequency is 638 80. So there's nothing right now. Because I put myself in upper sideband, so technically 6380 is probably the frequency. Is that winner on 6740? Oh, it's 6739. It's the 6739 is the one of the EAM frequencies for the U.S. Air Force. Let's try the other ones, 8992. The 8992 is better for me. Cool, Calvin. So some emergency action messages in 992. So cool, you renewed your subscription, Calvin. Ernie Turner, nice to have you on board from Southern Australia, VK3DET. John says, back in the day, it was different times, a member of NRC, IRCA, SpeedX, ASWLC, WTFDA, any of those still around? The NRC, National Radio Club of America, I think is still on. NASWA is still on. Some disappeared. They're not all still alive, but there's still a few. David Green, do you have a website? A website for what I do or whatever? Not really. Zachary Antle, nice to have you on board. I'm pretty cool. Sheldon Harvey, International Radio Report Show on CKU2 is in its 32nd year on the air. Pretty cool. I'm happy to be there too. It's fun to be there, honestly. Denmark, yes, Denmark, absolutely. I did forget Denmark. Okay, Radioactive, I'll check that out. Who knows? Maybe you'll hear CKUT direct with eSkip. Who knows? Anything can be can happen. Radio Romania strong 6170. Get back down 61. And the mode AM.
Priority at the helm of the Council of the European Union is the cohesion policy. A domestic level.
Radio Romania 6170 English.
Just as the rights and liberties Romanians
Take care, PLF Radio.
For Europeans. Prime Minister Viorica Dăncilă said on Wednesday and Thursday in Brussels, where she attended the plenary session of the European Committee.
iWrite 61 says, I'm studying for my general. Good luck with your hand license studies, Joe. Thank you, and good luck on yours also. We'll meet on the air and talk for sure at some point. A lot of them do that to Casey Red Dragon. A lot of old satellites that are dead and suddenly come back to life for some reason. It's just funny. Joseph Hager, nice to have you here. Love your channel. Thank you very much. Pretty cool. What else do we have? Radioactive's 26 minutes before ISS. Take care, McGlone. Always nice to have you here. Soccer, what is because in Canada, well, here, at least here in Quebec, football is the Alouette. It's the Canadian football. Soccer is what the Europeans call football. I call soccer here, and it's getting to be quite a big thing here. Enough that we're hearing a lot of it, and we have, of course, a team here in Montreal, and there's a lot. The Impact, the team name is Impact, and it's getting very popular. Probably in part because as we're getting more immigration from countries that enjoy that sport, it's become bigger over the years. Because when I was young, I played soccer a little bit because the gym teacher I had in high school came from Egypt, and he wanted us to learn. Like for example, with that guy, we never played hockey, never played baseball. He made us play handball, soccer, and so many other sports because he wanted us to see there's other things than just hockey and baseball. And so I played soccer a little bit when I was a teenager. But yeah, it's getting bigger here actually. Absolutely. We hear a lot more about it. I mean, when I was 15, apart from playing soccer in school, I would never hear about soccer anywhere. And now it's something that is actually getting much more popular. That definitely. Joseph Hager says, got 2 good picks today from the International Space Station on a coat hanger Yagi. Cool. That is cool. Nothing on 6379 from Radioactive. John Pickney says, has a ICOM R71 down in the basement. You need to put that back on working, man. Keegan has 27025. Some activity. Yep. So there's some skip possibly happening. So Sheldon says, we got the renewal for Calvin. Cool. Thanks for renewing. It's nice. No problem, Bullfrog. I don't take it personal at all. MKEP72. What's your location? Trying to listen to Shortwave Radio online. I'm in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Keegan, you don't hear nothing on 6170. Try 7310. It's actually much stronger here. 7310 for Radio Romania. It's really, really much stronger here. Peaking S7, S8, S9. 7310 might make it to you, Keegan, for Radio Romania English. And with a really, really good signal here. Just ended the... You
are listening to Radio Romania International. Focus on Romania.
So pretty good signal on 7310.
And Daniel Bill to the microphone. Born on the 30th of April 1940 in Bucharest into a family of musicians.
John Pinky, is there a ham radio store in Montreal area? I get to Toronto several times a year and I have found Radio World on Still Avenue to be interesting. Pretty much everything that was in Montreal is gone on the radio, amateur radio stuff, and the radio stuff in general. Montreal is now, I buy my stuff online. I bought my ICOM through Radio World in Toronto because I couldn't get it. There's nothing here for that anymore. Jerry Gonzalez, nice to have you on board. Says just started a subscription to CIDX. Wouldn't take either of my bank account for payment. Did accept my Amex card. You can okay, and you can anyways subscribe with a check also, I believe. Radioactive says I need to renew my ham license this year. 10 years on the radio. Oh, you guys in the US is you got to renew it. Here in Canada, I think now it's kind of, you got it for life now. Jerry Gonzalez has been active on 60 meters lately as KG5C. Cool. What else do we have? Atom Valley has a Current Monster saturating 3.2 to 4 megahertz at the moment. Whoa. John Pinkney says, good luck with the exam. Don't do what I did when I went for my extra. Walked in without having taken the exam for 20 plus years. I want to see what I was weak on so I would know what to. Man. Keegan says picked up a Mexican station on NTSC TV channel 3 once with American football at night. Wow. Oh, it's interesting. Matt says about Virgil's age, I guess soccer was more popular here in Denver because a fair number of us played it as kids. It was the only team sport I ever went out for. Interesting. Let's try, people are mentioning that 27, here's stuff on 11 meters. So let's check out anything special here. Mode. $27,025 seems to be rather quiet here. We're keeping an eye on the International Space Station. 27,025. I guess it's more of West Coast that seems to have sporadic E-skip right now. Wanted to get 100 on his AM test, but he got 88. Bullfrog says, well, this is interesting. Only a 6-second delay in the stream, but Joe's screen shows ISS past Australia, but mine shows ISS Northeast Coast. Okay, Bullfrog, you make sure that your TLEs are up to date. You got to update them now. The International Space Station will not show up correctly if it's more than a week old. They almost every week have corrections once or twice a week. So here's going to be at 12 minutes. So 10, 20 minutes. 20 minutes going to be over. We're going to see if it's right. But this should be okay because I just updated the TLEs. Make sure you update them. Go to the upper right and click Update TLEs, and you'll see that maybe it's going to move. For most satellites, even if your 2-line elements are a couple of weeks old, doesn't matter usually. But for the International Space Station, it's extremely important that they are updated almost any time you want to track the ISS. Radioactive says Radio Romania 7310, carrier only here. What do we have? Chris Alpha Tango 7310, only 20 plus. Keegan 7310, Radio Romania English, S3 out of S5, fading at times. Cool. Cool. Speaking at S4 now. Jerry Gonzalez got an NN100, 10 Tech Paragon, and 10 Tech Eagle in my ham shack. Matham Valley's getting a lot of static crashes. 48 megahertz. Pretty cool. Thunderstorms. Keegan has 7 seconds delay. John Pinky says Radio Romania 7310. Good to hear on the Sony SEF 7600 JR. with the whip antenna. Pretty good. Jerry Gonzalez says if you're interested in Morse code, recommends CW Academy. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yes, it's very important, Bullfrog, because what happened with Orbitron is that it's not been updated for a long time. And when Windows 7, 8, and 10 appeared, they were more to prevent, somewhat prevent anything from fussing around with the Windows files and folders. They locked it down. So without having administrative rights, the software cannot write in certain parts of the registry or the certain parts of the hard drive. And Orbitron falls in there. You gotta give it admin rights because it won't be able to update the TLEs if you don't do it. Donald Hosmer says, checking antennas today and found tracks by my door, took photos and compared to online sites. Not raccoon as I thought, but were fox. Was checking out his hood. Better not chew my coax. So you got a fox. W5KJL, nice to have you on board, says US hams need to redo every 10 years. But that's a bit misleading. No retest required. You simply go online and click renew. Boom, you got yourself another decay. Huh, interesting. Chris Alpha Tango is at beer number 2. John Pigney, anybody have problems with the Texan PL 880 with no audio? Mine will tune through range, but no audio. And if you put headphones, do you hear sound, John? Have you tried it with headphones? Chris Alpha Tango downloaded Arbitron first time now. Not much of a sad guy, but interesting. You know, it could be just interesting for the just for the aspect of, you know, satellites. Yes, absolutely, PageMaster, you're right. Stellarium astronomy software does track the International Space Station and many visible satellites. By the way, I got Stellarium on my on most of my PCs. Anybody interested in astronomy, Stellarium is a great free package to the night sky and see what's in the night sky. Really amazing. Really amazing. I'll do a little shameless promotion for myself now. If you like what you see, if you enjoy our shows, don't forget that you can donate a little something. Don't forget that, you know, I could be doing so many things other than being here for 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon, evening. But I do it because I love it, first of all. I gotta pay an extreme amount for my internet bill just because I post videos online on YouTube all the time. I need fast upload. I do live shows. I'm here all the time. It doesn't happen that often that I take a day off of any live shows. I gotta pay for equipment. I gotta pay for the internet. I gotta pay for upgrading stuff regularly. Well, this is where you guys help, because with the donations, you help me pay for some of the cost of running all of this, because it does, you know, I got to pay from my pocket. Yes, some of you will say, well, you know, you got YouTube monetization and all. Absolutely, but you know, there's no, you can help a little more in doing so. You know, I want to thank everybody that donated yesterday, by the way, and it's something that if you find it valuable, if you think that, you know, having me here, I mean, it's easy because, you know, the guy's there talking for hours at a time. We have help of all sorts. We got people, knowledgeable people that will help each other. I help out in some ways with some of you regularly. I mean, we're a great community. It's a great place. If you value what we got here, why not think about a little something? Any donation helps. It doesn't matter if you give just $1. It's the fact that you just participate, and that's already putting you in a position where it's better than 99% of everybody that watches the show. So why not think about it? Think about it as a subscription. Like I always say, there's a guy that gave me a donation a couple of months back around Christmas time, and he said it's my second time donating, and he said, by the way, I donate once a year, and I consider this as being a subscription to viewing what you have. There's a lot of things I could do. I could do live shows that would require people to pay to see. I could activate the chat, the super chat, so that people that pay will have priority over everybody else. Stuff like that. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of that. I don't want to give more importance to one person than another. It's not something I like. And at the same time, I do totally understand that some of you cannot donate, don't have the means to donate, and it's all right. If there's one thing here also is I don't want to have people that can't donate feel bad. It's not the reason of me doing this little speech right now. It's simply if you value what you have here, if you like being here, and if you're here all the time and just find it cool, why not think about it? Of course, you can donate through PayPal, and paypal.me/shortwave, or through the Yahoo email that you see here. And of course, you can. That's kind of the best way, because of the other one is a little more complicated. Sometimes it's easy to get fooled or not set it up right. But you can also join 11 patrons that are giving me a little something every month at patreon.com/radioandcomputers. So if you like what I do, you know what? Why not help out and make sure that we continue this super cool gathering every week, and I'm happy to be here. You guys are great. Thanks everybody that have donated, and like every week, trying to reach out to maybe somebody that had never donated before. So thanks guys, really much appreciated. Okay, back to business. International Space Station closing in, or maybe what will be another decode of pictures. Nothing on 11 meters here. 27025 is quiet. It seems to be in the west coast that there's some sporadic ESCAP, and really a lot of fun to tune around. Et voila! I could be getting drunk in the bar instead of the home, and sing songs at the karaoke bar. I only drink while I do live shows, so I don't really get drunk any other times in my home. What else do we have? Radioactive has a UNID weather fax, very weak. 11462.1. That's interesting. Let me I'll check out here. 11462. 1146. Let's get down to the list here. 11462. Could you be getting well, 11.4? Anything here in the list as I've got? 11.46. Apart from Cuban spy numbers at the middle of the night, I don't see anything that has weather facts here. So I don't know. I got no idea. No idea. Yep, like Mark Brando says, if you have no sound even in the earphones, resetting the 880. And yeah, that's also something you need to check very carefully. Make sure you haven't activated anything. It's easy to be fooled sometimes. Tron F, nice to have you here. Says, let me just check it out here. Okay, I've there. Okay. Mick says running around in Aston Martin and cheap. I don't have a car. So Tron F says he signed up for amateur radio license yesterday. He's on it now. Your turn to take the first steps. Absolutely. No problem, Tron. Absolutely no problem. And I will. Promise. I promised everybody this year is the year, and this year is going to be the year. Keegan has 11,930, has 5 out of 5. Radioactive is waiting for the acquisition of the signal. You're not. You're pretty much in there now. I got it here. Pretty much in there now. Kevin Wood, 6262 USB voice comm. Huh. Oops, here. 6262. Let's check it out. 6262. There's definitely voice. There's somebody on 6262, absolutely. Sounds Italian. 6262. Upper sideband. Sounds Italian. Radioactive as the International Space Station. Cool. Hey, the Rock AD. Loop antenna or long wire with the copper plate of a mini whip for more gain. I don't know. W5KJS has made a small donation for the beer fund. Stay thirsty, my friend. Your next one is on me. Thank you very much, my friend. Francais, I'm not sure. It sounds Italian here. It's not strong enough for me to make out. It could be like French from France. That would not be impossible. It's not strong enough so I can actually make it out. Hey Jose, nice to have you here. Show the radio room. Yeah, we'll try that. We'll try something. Yes, Bobby, the International Space Station is coming for a really good one in a couple of minutes' time. John Russ, Joe Sumra Newhouse, nice to have you here. Harry Arikala, nice to have you here from Finland. We got Finland now. We need more northern countries. Nice to have you on board from Finland, my friend Harry. Pretty cool. Man, you got me wondering now if it's French. You really got me wondering now if it's French on 6262 upper sideband. 6230 England weather. Do I have something on 6230 here? I got nothing on 6230 here. I'm really, I'm baffled, but I don't think it's, I don't think I would have picked up some name or something. Anybody hearing 6262 loud enough to identify what language it is? Out of curiosity. Okay, so the International Space Station is arriving to this place. We're going to now move to the code on 145.803 FM mode, and here we are, guys. Pass number 2 of the International Space Station, and we will be trying to decode another picture as it passes by on 145.800. João Sombra asks, it's possible. It's totally possible that it could be Portuguese. It doesn't sound like Spanish. That's definite. French, I'm not sure. Dave Todd, nice to have you here, says Boston WIFAX, strong on 6338. Bill, W3WDR, nice to have you here. Try 10510. 10. Got nothing here. So, International Space Station, it's appearing already, so let's put the volume on. This is a great pass. It's an 80-degree pass, so it's going to be interesting to see what we're decoding here. So it just stopped. We will have a pretty interesting pass here. So in a minute or so it's going to restart. It's just barely getting off the northwest horizon here, but it's passing almost overhead. It's an 80-degree pass for me. So yeah, João Sombra New House. Tom Vidar Duncan, nice to have you here from Norway. Waiting for new radio. It's always fun to wait for a new radio, honestly. Cool. Mick can hear faint voices on 6230 using the UT20 SDR. So, It does have an Aussie side to it, so it's possible. So, nice. So let's try it again. International Space Station. And that's cool. Best regards to ISS Fan Club. Now that is a nice decode. That is a nice decode, guys. Look at that. I'm just going to put it a little further here because we're going to get one more, I'm pretty sure. Right now, it's past its peak point, but let's hope that we can get another one. That's a nice one. Giving thanks to the ISS Fan Club website for 17 years of outstanding air support with the astronauts. Best regard to ISS Fan Club, RS0ISS, the International Space Station ID. And we'll try another one to see if it works. So, Texan PL680, the noise makes me think I'm abducted by a UFO. Maybe you are. Michael Biernacki, nice to have you here. Casey the Red Dragon, I'm using MMSS TV. MMSS TV. Yeah, this is really, really good. Really, really nice. So, Keegan says, Matt, so far copied 8, 9, 10 of the 12 images they're sending. Keegan says, DXer in Minnesota said earlier he received the International Space Station 145800 about 10 minutes ago. Says now's on the air. Pretty cool. This is amazing. This is amazing. So let's turn it on again and see if we'll hear anything else. It's really low, so I don't think we're going to have a full picture because now it's really low on the east part. Let's try it anyways. It's 12 degrees above my horizon on the east side now. 12 degrees only. $11 degrees. It's really low. 10 degrees. It's 10 degrees, and it's about that direction. Really low. 9 degrees. It's really getting low at the horizon. $7 degrees. As it's getting lower, I'm getting more noise. Pretty much moving on. It's pretty much gone. So that's cool. That is cool. Anniversary of the first ham operations from space. From the space shuttle. December 83. Long time ago. You guys that listen to Shortwave, remember how many, when you could listen to WA3NAN, that would actually rebroadcast shuttle transmissions. So we've got, this is the weather facts from Point Reyes, decoded by Radioactive. So here's one, very clear and very nice. That's really nice. No, this isn't, oh wait. Yeah, today, 21:25 UT, today, okay. And he's got this picture of the International Space Station, SSTV. A few phase, but not bad at all. It's a nice one. I'd like to have that one. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. Really, really nice. Very, very nice. And by the way, thanks for everybody I've donated. I've seen the donations come through. Much appreciated, by the way. So, okay. Anybody has anything special they want to share? A picture of their shack? Anything that they want to show the audience? Official shortwave radio at gmail.com. I'll put it here. Official shortwave radio at gmail.com. This you can send if you have a picture or something. If you're not in the chat and you want to say hello, why not send a little something and show us anything, that a picture of your shack or radios, or no problem. So we're checking it out here. Nothing new coming in. We got Neil Toombs that sent me some of his decodes today. Neil Toombs sent me 2 of his decodes of International Space Station. Also pretty cool. Look at that. Really nice pictures from Neil Toombs. Very nice stuff. So much fun to be able to share this. So much fun. Really, really so much fun to be able to share this together. So nothing coming in right now, but we'll check regularly for sure. Matt, no problem. Hey, Radio Comms, take care. We'll be back next Friday at 2000 hours UTC for sure. Bullfrog says, I'm back on. I definitely need a better antenna. Brandon Sexton, nice to have you here. Is it possible to feed my scanner into my laptop using the headphone jack? Absolutely. Absolutely. It will work if you do that. But you know what? If your scanner, and if it's quiet, you don't even need to. Just the microphone of your laptop in a quiet environment is going to be enough to decode it. But you can use an audio cable. I use one right now here in the back here. Just use an audio cable and feed it through your to your laptop, and it's going to work. Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks, Nick Amendot, for sharing the full archive of pictures being sent. For sure. Ronald Hester says from North Carolina, my scanner antenna is a discount, 25 to 1.3 gigahertz. Joseph Hager says is pass coming up, 547 Central. Billy Lata says just copied ISS on 145-800, 20 over in Corning, New York, with the ICOM 76 MK2G. No decoding. Cool. This is cool. Texan PL680. I wonder how many people around the world are receiving these SSTV transmissions. We are part of a covered operations. Yeah, Carl. It's very cool. Absolutely. It's very cool. Hey, Elizabeth, nice to have you here. Carl Wumble, nice to have you here. Really a lot of fun to do this. If I haven't said hi, by the way, to anybody, please say hi. Really nice. Hey, Simon Templar, nice to have you on board from snowy Portland, Oregon. Cool. John says many discounts can also be used for transmit. Yeah, I had a discount that was rated that it could be used for 2 meter and 70 centimeter broad transmit. A discount that I had purchased at Radio Shack a long time ago. So, F4IDL, nice to have you here. Hard day at work. We have one of those from time to time. Hard day at work. It's not always easy. Sun is just set here, and we still have light out somewhat. Days are getting longer, I can tell you that. Simon Templar says the SDS 100 Uniden is awesome. Cool. Joseph Hager says, made your show part of my SSTV weekend. It's been awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you for being here, because without all of that, you know. Rock 80 says the first picture that I received from NOAA in 2008. Wow. That is cool. That is cool. Harders, Out of Crafter's Kitchen. Greetings from McDonald's. Just finished shooting first roll of film with my new Nikon F4 of my doctors gave me. Okay. Can I have a Big Mac at McDonald's, please? We are in for a storm apparently on Tuesday here in Montreal. Something like close to a foot of snow, apparently. Seven Templars listening to the local PD police department and fire. Cool. Ray Erding says, considering SDS 100, but the paid stuff for DMR, I don't understand it. Any advice, please? Also, AR DV10, some bad reviews on YouTube. You know what? There's one thing you got to be careful with reviews of radios. Read and look at many of them. I have been, if I look at my shortwave radios, because we'll try to keep it shortwave since we're in the shortwave channel, even though, you know, we digress a little bit. Over the years of purchasing many portable radios, portable shortwave radios, I noticed one thing. Now, when you are knowledgeable in shortwave, you know of, and you understand some of the limitations of radios and some radios. But, as all of us, I think pretty much everybody that when we start and we decided we want to buy something, what do? We look at a review online and we look at reviews and we try to find a lot of reviews. One of the things you got to be careful. First of all, don't look at just 2 reviews or 3 reviews. Doesn't mean anything. Remember that anything that is reviewed online, okay? And think about it. Almost anything reviewed online. If you're really mad and don't like it, you'll be the one reviewing it. If you're happy, almost no one that is happy and that finds that that thing works great talks about it. And that makes online reviews very delicate for radio, because you'll have the people that know nothing about radio that buy it and don't know how to use it, and they're going to just post, oh, that's a crappy thing, it doesn't work. Okay. Why is it crappy? What don't you like about it? And most of the time they can't really explain it because they don't have the knowledge to explain it. Anyways. Then you've got the people that know what they're talking about, but sometimes you buy a radio and you expect something out of it that you're not really happy once you get it. It doesn't mean that the radio's bad. It's just mean, okay, well, it's not a bad radio. You're just not happy with it. You know what? An example of that, and I got to say, I want to redo my review. If you guys remember, I'm going to go fetch the radio because I want to show you guys the radio I want to talk about. So some of you have noticed that my review of this Degen DE1106 is not very good, and a lot of you said, well, it's an expensive radio and you're not using it, and it's staying there, so you got $100+ radio that's staying in your shelf. And you know what? I'm wondering if I was a little bit unfair, because I actually, since I took it out last time, I actually tuned around with it. I said, you know what? Tune around again. Take it, tune around, listen to stations, and see if it's that crappy or that bad that, like you said it was. And, okay, my fair view of this radio is I still will not recommend... I will still not recommend that people purchase this radio for the price that it's sold. But you know what? I was surprised to see that for a week, I actually tuned in the kitchen shortwave on this thing, listened to amateur radio operators, and was thinking of, well, okay, maybe it's not as crappy as it is. It's not worth the price that it's sold for. But it's maybe a little better than I kind of posted it on my YouTube channel. But still, unless you pay this $20, I don't think you should buy it. It's expensive for a radio that, unfortunately, the audio is crappy a little bit. It's kind of tinny, and there's no bass in it. The sync detector in here is no good. It unlocks all the time. But it does receive, and I mean, maybe I was a little harsh, but still, you know what? I'm going to keep it, because when I'm going to go and cook my food a little later, I'm going to actually tune the bands on this thing in the kitchen while I'm cooking my food, and try to convince myself that it's worth $125 that I paid for. But, it all comes to, there are things we expect from something we purchase. We got to just be careful to read between the lines. So many radios that I've seen, for example, EHAM. Anybody who goes to eham.net, I believe, where there's tons of reviews. I mean, people post their own reviews of something. And it's a nice place because there's really a lot of reviews of the same thing. which goes, of course, from the idiot that doesn't understand what he's doing to the guy that is knowledgeable and explains why he doesn't like it or likes it. We got to be careful with those reviews because read between the lines and understand what the limitations and what they're trying to explain. And you got to remove all the junk. You know, I mean, I don't like it. Yeah, wow, nice review. I don't like it. Please. I love it. Okay. Why do you love it? It's happy, it's fun, but well, you like it for one reason. And I have here tons of radios that if I looked at reviews, I would not have purchased. But when I have them in my hand and listen in, it's okay. And then there's the side where you got to put the reviews versus the price paid. Here, my bad review goes with the price paid, $125. But maybe if I paid $50, I would not have been so difficult. That's maybe something that would change, you know. Okay. Let's go down. What else do we have? What else do we have? Let me just see here. Andy Essex, what software am I using on WeatherFax? I use the one that decodes the best for me is multi-PSK. I mean, I've used FLDG for WeatherFax, but it often breaks for me. And multi-PSK seems to decode better most of the time. Try both FLDG or multi-PSK and see what works good for you. Simon Templar ARR DV10 does not do trunking. It's a normal receiver, not a scanner. Then also we got to be careful when you buy receivers. It's not always easy because you got to understand what's like a communications receiver and a scanner radio. Radio free whatever. Sorry guys, says Matt on 6925 upper sideband. I think I hear something faint in the background. 6925 upper sideband. KC Red Dragon 4215 channel marker. Bullfrog United says, I like to look at the 2-star reviews. What happened? They didn't give it 1 star. Yeah. Hey, Vianney Arsenault. Salut. Nice to have you here. Blackout electricity here since 12:30. Wow. Hope things are better. There's a lot of wind, huh? There was a lot of wind yesterday. So I'm pretty a lot of people had no electricity. Simon Templar. Shell, is that in the Atari ST behind me? Absolutely. Atari ST. Right here. Works great. It totally works great. I can even switch it on here. And I don't know if it'll there we go. Oh, it's plugged in, yeah. Here it is, plugged in. I'll give you a glimpse of what it looks like there. Simon Templar. I've got a Commodore 128 there. I've got an Amiga 500 there, and I've got a Macintosh Plus with its hard drive up there. So it's kind of fun. Radioactive 11610 AWR from Guam. Do I have it correct, or is the first time I received Guam ever? 11610, I believe, is from Madagascar. Let me just go up here. Let me go check it out. 11610 mode. Well, I've got nothing here. I don't know. AWR from Guam. I don't know. What language is it radioactive? Let me just check it out here. IBI. Let's go to 11610. 11610. $22 to $23. Yeah, you got okay. Anything else at this time? Nothing else. Well, it's not impossible. 22 to 23 is only one station listed here, and it's from Guam, and it's Adventist World Radio in Vietnamese. So, yeah, it's possible. It's totally possible, radioactive. Oh, absolutely radioactive. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. The multi-PSK's interface is horrible, but it does well what it needs to do for sure, though. So you know, Ray Erdink, unlike my XH Data D808, receives ham and broadcasts very well in my area. So it's a great little receiver. Everybody that has one seems to be happy with the XH Data D808. So Chris Alpha Tango is at his 4th beer. Starting to feel nice. Oh, when there's no electricity, it's amazing. No noise, no nothing. It's just crazy. Oh yeah, Matt, wait, let me just check it out here. Okay, Hey Matt, yep, here they are. Okay, so here are Matt's slow scan TV pictures. So here's the one at the top, which is a nice one. This one here, and there's another one here. Pretty nice. These are very, very clear, the codes. Thanks for sharing, Matt. For sure. Oh, wow. Miguel Amaj is sharing Sri Lanka QSL card. Look at that. Oh. Come on. What's happening? Here we go. Beautiful. Ah, it's sent in a, what the hell isn't, here we go. So that's the, you don't like the fact that it's like that, okay. So nice Sri Lanka QSL card from Mickey. Cool. Brian Chappell says, the snow made it easier, Brian V7AUL, to take a picture of his antenna because of the snow. Oh wow, look at that, guys. We can kind of see it really well thanks to the snow. Really nice. Really nice. That is pretty easy to see, I gotta say. Beautiful picture. Thanks for sharing, Brian. Really, really, really nice. This is cool. What else do we have? What else do we have? Hey, David in Barcelona. Nice to have you on board. You missed all the slow scan TV from the International Space Station here. Dennis Bargetzi, using PL680 with good results, absolutely. I'm still using it. I still love it. From Texan, it's still one of my favorite radios, honestly. Ray Erding, what new radio are you folks getting? Excited to you all. I'd like, you know what's missing? I think for the VHF UHF range, what's missing for me is a more modern receiver that can decode digital systems, which I don't have. Like, you know, the TRX1 from Whistler, or you know, maybe the ICR30 from ICOM. I think that's where I might be missing a receiver. You know, instead of buying like 3 or 4 shortwave radios, I should buy one of those more modern radio scanners that actually decode digital modes. Oh, by the way, I forgot to show you, but you know, just going down here. 7 Templar. I have an Atari 800 Apple IIc, 1040 SDEs, and Atari 2600 all still work. Yeah, look at that. I'm going to show you guys. It smells. I think it's here. So that's my. It's a little noisy. Problem with the. So this is the Atari 1040 SD screen that you guys see here. So I play games on that thing from time to time. So that it still works. Still works. I changed the floppy drive because the floppy drive had an issue, but works great, honestly. Hey Vianney, yes, I've checked the ISS. Look at that, Vianney. The pictures that I've got today are. Let's go to history here. Let's go down. So this was the one before. So this is one. Thanks to the ISS fan club, website support 17 years. So this was decoded live on the show today. Then we had, this one was a little noisy, but it was there. And we had this one that I decoded an hour before the show started, which is not too bad also. It's noisy in the bottom, but it's not too bad. So a lot of fun today. It was a lot of fun today, decoding all the images from the International Space Station. Keegan is now listening for International Space Station transmissions 145-800. Cool. Radioactive show. It has a warbly audio to it. Unsure of language. 11610. Okay. Well, it's possible because it's the only one that's there at that time. Is it that all scanners, Ray Erding, is that all scanners' nature of the design as opposed to just receiving? Interesting. We get Almage 11610, just a blip. So it's kind of nice. Anybody else send some nice little mails here? Check it out. Cool. What else is that? Dennis Bergetzi says tips of the day are golden. Thanks so much. Well, there's going to be a lot more of them. So and starting next week, I will be. Okay, here we go. We got a better one here. This one is now in the right orientation. Thanks, Mickey, for sharing. QSL card from Sri Lanka. Very beautiful. Very nice. Wow. I found some more QSL cards earlier. Maybe we could end the show with, you guys want to see a little bit more of my QSL cards? I found some today. If you guys want to see some of the other QSLs that I have. Kevin won a 6925, really strong. So it's pretty cool. And thanks, VNA. It was nice, really nice to have them. I still have one pass left, a low one, but there's still one pass left of the International Space Station here. I'd say 16-degree pass is very, very low. At in an hour's time from now. This is a very low one though, from the south. So radioactive as the next pass in 57 minutes in Oregon. 65 degrees, that's good. So, really, really nice. Really, really nice. So here we have, oh man, Sugar Delta. Can I show these on YouTube? Somebody's gonna complain. So, wow. World DX Radio Group Sugar Delta. Very explicit. That could be worse, but anyways. What do we have? And what else do we have? We got another one here. Look at that. Another one here. So, it's kind of a from Chris Whistler. We have another one here. There's another angle, another, look at that. Oh, wow. Pretty amazing. This is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Love it. This is cool. See all the, no? Bullfrog West Station is sending those out. The voice of naughtiness. Yeah, I don't think nobody expected to see that. Sugar Delta looks very interesting, Vianney. Kimberly says, yikes. Oh man, gonna have to flag the video 18 years or older now. Someone's sexting me. Ah, God. Oh God. Kimberly wants the male version. That we need to have. Kimberly wants the male version, and there should be a male version to be equal. I mean, in all fairness, there has to be, you know. Chris Alpha Tango is a bad boy. Yeah, 18 plus now. I need to put that little 18 plus check mark in this live show today so that it will be there. And it's all in good taste and in, you know. Chris Alpha Tango says, sorry, I have no dudes. Kimberly, to be fair, yeah, there needs to be, you know. WJAY, they didn't send beefcake QSLs. Was there ever a, you know what, I'm surprised. There could have been some kind of gay or transgender pirate station. I've never heard of any. And why not? I mean, for everything. I guess it's like, you know, I've never heard of a pirate station run by women. Have you guys ever heard a girl pirate station? I guess, you know. I don't know. Well, you know what, Matt? The funniest thing here, we had an AM station of all the things you could have about that was you know, LGBT type station. The only thing they had was music. It was like being in a dance club all night. they weren't talking about anything, you know. Christoph Tango says, yes, many radio ladies. Okay. I guess there are. I mean, come on, you know. But, I mean, it's funny to see all of that. So, hey, I'm going to show you guys just a little bit of QSLs that I kind of digged out this morning while doing some cleanings. Just a little bit of QSL stuff I want to show you guys as I place them back into their original spots. The ones I wanted to show you mostly was, so we were talking about that the other day. I got one here. NHK Radio Japan 11665. Nicolas Almage says Pancho Villa has a YL if one were to know. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. There's yeah. I totally understand that. Just send them to the email, Chris Alpha Tango. Radio Vilnius, Lithuania. Look at that, guys. Radio Vilnius, Lithuania on this one here. This is kind of interesting. Radio Norway QSLs here. What else? Some of those big, really big QSLs of the Radio Budapest Shortwave Club that were like one page of QSL. What else is interesting here? Radio Tirana QSLs from the 80s. Look at that one. Radio Reloj from Costa Rica. Is it Costa Rica? Yep. On 4832 kilohertz in the 60 meter band. The one at the bottom here is Radio Portugal. Radio Difusão Portugal. WINB and KCBI, a station that doesn't exist anymore. Look at that. Radio Jamairia from Libya. And this one here, Voice of Nigeria. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Ecos del Torbes from Venezuela on the bottom here. WWVH Hawaii. Here on this side is Iran. Some really nice stuff in here. Anybody remember Radio for Peace International? That went off the air and never came back when there was a hurricane. Voice of Mongolia at the bottom. Voice of Mongolia here. So a few QSLs that are interesting in here. The CBC Radio Canada Newfoundland service on 6160 that shut off a year or two ago. Yeah, the QSL card. What else? Greece and Syria. So Greece at the top, Syria at the bottom, and Pakistan right here. Radio Pakistan Broadcasting Corporation. Amazing. QSL letter. FEBA in Seychelles and Radio Thailand. FEBA, Seychelles and Radio Thailand. Right here. Radio Kuwait right here. Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. Transworld Radio Swaziland at the bottom. Radio Netherlands at the top. Pretty cool. BBC Radio QSLs from the BBC right here. BBC QSLs. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff indeed. So, a few more QSLs that I didn't show last time we talked about QSLs. Oh man. What else do we have? Madam Bai would seriously paper those walls with those QSLs. Yeah, if there would be a way to do it easily, I would. It would be nice. it would be totally nice to have QSLs all around, for sure. 7850 CHU received by Keegan. Blasty says, I have that reload. Oh, really? You got it? Hey, man, old times. It was so weird. I always wondered, so weird how it was. They were at 4832 kilohertz. I mean, come on, what's that? 4832? What, you couldn't tune the transmitter to 4830 or something? Donald Hosmer says, Radio Tahiti had a drawing of a topless native back in the 60s. Yeah, Radio for Peace. I have a few pirate handmade QSLs, yes, absolutely. What did I see the other day? I'm just going to show you guys something. Yep, look at that. Look at that here. Look at these. I was looking at, so this is one, but I had more than that. Oh yeah, here. Look at that. This is something that I wanted to show you guys also. Right here. So, I have some stuff from, so this is a CD. But look at that. There was some pirate stuff also. So this is a Cupid Radio. Cupid Radio, which is a pirate. This is the last QSL of Radio Netherlands, which is very like goodbye and thanks. Kind of sad. From 29 June 2012. Man, that's sad. What's this? Man, Radio Bulgaria. I didn't remember I had one of those. Look at that. From September 2008. WRNO QSL from on 7505. WRNO. But look at that. I've got, what I want to show is, so here's CHU Canada, one of the QSLs that I got on 7850. Radio Sweden. There's something here I wanted to show you guys. I'm not sure it's still in there. Starting to wonder if it's in there. Sorry guys. Oh, here's one handmade pretty much. Cupid Radio from Holland. We used to, here's another one. Cupid Radio. Cupid Radio. That's another 18 years for you. Cupid Radio. I had Cupid Radio in my MSN Messenger a long time ago. And they he would talk to me all the time and let me know sorry guys. What is this? He would let me know every time he was live. Pirate radio stations would actually give you even CDs back then. Look at that. This is one from Undercover Radio. And the Undercover CD here. With the full broadcast that I was listening to back then. With all the information on there. These are from pirate stations. I've got a few of those from different pirate stations. Lots of cool stuff actually received over the years. When you think about it. Really some really cool stuff there. Matt, nope, never heard that KIPM in the 90s. Nope. Oh, really? You got Blasey, you got a time station from Venezuela, QSL. Wow, cool, cool. Take care, Simon Templar. It was nice to have you on board. Well, these are nice stuff. Radioactive has 9395, WRMI S7 to Aragon with music. Umar Shehu Elemen, nice to have you here. And cool to see that you're addicted to radio. It's a great way of getting our information, actually. Radio Martin on 565. Yeah, Radio Netherlands. There's a lot of stations I miss. I miss HCJB and their Saturday night lineup of programs. That was so great. So great. Hearing some sort of maybe Mars on 6913. Let's check that out. 6913. 6913. Nothing here. We'll leave it just high enough. Sometimes you don't hear one-sided conversation. So, hey, we've been on for 3 hours, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's show. 6 hours in 2 days, not bad. 3 hours yesterday, 3 hours today. Don't forget, tomorrow is the International Radio Report. If you want to listen to that show from CKUT 90.3 FM, you go to ckut.ca. 15:30 UTC. We'll stream it live, or you can go there and click on the archive if you want to listen to last week's show. You can have, I think it's 3 months of shows. And really, really a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. PageMaster says, one thing I noticed about shortwave listening, if you do receive a ham radio operator on your radio, send them a reception report, and in return we'll send you a QSL card. I've done that. I have at least, I have a couple of dozen of ham QSLs. I used to just send an email, say, hey, I'm in Montreal, Canada, and I received you on 20 meters last night, or 10 meters, or whatever. And usually they're so happy to know that shortwave listeners been listening in. A lot of them actually send me QSL cards. I got one from Japan, which is really cool. But you're right. But if you do write an AM radio operator, remember that they're not a shortwave station. They don't have a budget for QSLs. They pay it off their own pocket. Never forget that. So take care, my friends. Always nice to be here. Next show is Friday, 2000 hours UTC. And hope that everybody enjoyed today's show, enjoyed the decoding of the space station pictures. That was really, really nice. And Mikel Lamar just sent his report to 9LY1JM Sierra Leone. Hope you get that QSL. It's going to be great. Really hope you get that QSL. So take care, my friends. And Brett Wayne's got 9 pictures from the ISS so far. Remember, the International Space Station is going to transmit pictures up to 18:30 UTC tomorrow, February 10th. So you have up to 18:30 UTC tomorrow for International Space Station pictures. And take care, my friends. Love you all. Next show is Friday, February the 15th, 2000 UTC. Stay safe. Love you all. Thanks for all the donations that came through the show. And thank you so much for being great fans. It's just amazing. Amazing. And this week, we'll add a new feature. We have the daily tips, but we'll have the daily DX tips coming this week. And if you like CKUT and you like the International Radio Report, remember, you can join the International Radio Report Facebook page and learn a little more over there. Take care, my friends. Don't forget, there's the CIDX Club Messenger Bulletin also. Ask for a sample copy. See CIDX Club at yahoo.com. And have fun with your radios this week, guys. And listen in. Thanks for being here. Being great fans. Without you guys, I'd be talking to myself, which would be boring. Maybe interesting, but boring. So take care, everybody. Love you all. Stay safe. Bye. Doesn't fade out.